Ooh, this one's a rough one. There's two different types of people. You've got your givers, and you've got your takers. Admittedly, right now I'm going through a difficult time in my life. Big relationship thing is happening right now. Or not happening. But it's led me down the path of considering people. And I've been having a lot of different discussions over the past couple of years with people that are in long-term relationships and people that are not in long-term relationships. I've also been watching people, considering past relationships that I've not been a part of, but I've watched. Aunts, uncles, family members, friends, things like that. And I've noticed something that's been very consistent. A giver usually finds themselves with a taker. And it may not be in all ways with all things, but there's two different kinds of people. There are people that give freely, I guess, freely? I'll take that back. I don't know that anybody gives freely because I think we're all narcissists, but I'll get to that in a minute. There are givers and there are takers, and if two givers find themselves together, there's a lot of philanthropy going on amongst those people, right? Hey, where would you like to go to eat? I don't know, where would you like to go? Hey, do you need any help with this? No, I was actually coming to ask you if you did. There's a lot of different things that happen with two givers. What about two takers? Oh, I was wondering if I could borrow. Well, actually, I was coming to ask you if I could borrow. Those relationships probably won't last, or probably won't be of any substance, because life is about balance, give and take, and there's got to be a giver for the taker, and there's got to be a taker for the giver to give to. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I am boiling down the fact that there are maybe only two different types of people, givers and takers. Now, I do think that givers can take, and I do think that takers can give. But I think who you are at your core, you're a giver or you're a taker. I've noticed a lot of people going through a lot of relationship things, and we've been talking, and people usually come from one side of the spectrum or the other in the accounts that they give for why they are no longer with the person that they were with, and also why they're considering not being with that person, or the reasons that they fell out. And it almost seems universal. One person is just always talking about how much they did or how much they gave, and that's their metric for measuring how they showed their love to the other person. Oh, I paid all of their bills, and I was always there for them financially, and I bought this house, and how could they not notice? All the things that I did. And they measure things on a very, very tangible scale, the giver. And the taker, I'm not really sure, totally, because I don't think I'm a taker. But what it seems like is the taker may see themselves as a little bit more of a gift, and their presence or companionship is probably what the giver should notice, and that should have been their biggest takeaway. I was here for you when you were trying to do that thing. I was here and I was doing this. Friends seem to come together. Two takers, they can coexist as quote unquote friends, as deep as they can be as friends. And two givers, they can bond over what they do for others. Oh, aren't I this? Aren't I that? But like I said, there's a level of narcissism with the giver. Sometimes the giver can give because they think that they've got gifts to give. How arrogant when you think about it. I've got this knowledge, so I'll give it to you. I've got this money, I'll give it to you. I'll loan it to you. I've got this connection, I can open it up to you. That's the giver. It's pretty narcissistic, or it can be. That's why I don't want to get so caught up on the word give And we think that, oh my gosh, the giver is great. The giver's the best person ever. That may not be true. And the taker, just because the word is take, that doesn't necessarily mean the taker is the worst person. What else are you supposed to do sometimes when someone just wants to give you? You have to take something. Or you have to cut them off or something like that, because my goodness, what an uncomfortable relationship. But I'm noticing a lot of relationships sort of falling apart. Divorce rate is extremely high. People seem very willing to quit on what they have. I'm feeling like the biggest reason for that is concessions aren't being made. People aren't considering who they are, what their propensities are, what they like to do, and their partner. I know I've made my fair share of mistakes in my relationship. I know that I'm a giver, but I know I always haven't given righteously. Maybe sometimes I gave with strings attached. Are you a giver? Do you give with strings attached? This is a little sidebar, little story. I remember going to church and everyone seemed so warm. Baptist church, Christian, set the stage. Black guy, what else do you expect? There are people at the church, and you would think they were taking roll for God. Like, whoa, I haven't seen you in a few weeks. I want you to come to church so you can get fed, so you can get the word, the Lord's word. Well, I'm here now. Get the hell out of my face. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, but these givers, they come off. Oh, I've got your best interest at heart. Actually, you're a narcissist. You just wanted to tell me that you've been here every Sunday and point out to me that I haven't. I don't really know that you're a giver. Or maybe you are. That was a really narcissistic way of showing it. And if your goal was to make me feel guilty and horrible, you succeeded. Just a lot of relationships that are falling apart. There are men cheating, there are women cheating. Children are involved, and they're seeing these themes. You're a giver, you're a taker. And what you do with that knowledge, maybe it could help save your relationship, or maybe help you understand that you need to get out of the one that you're in. I don't know. These are strange times. And we're drifting.